everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to Twinset and Purl's knitting podcast. We're on episode 20. It's actually our podiversary.
We might have just missed it.
Yeah, we missed it. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm Jo.
I'm Rachel.
And we design knitting patterns as Twinset and Purl.
So we're on Instagram as Twinset and Purl.
And I'm also on Instagram as Jojo Butler.
And I'm the youngest Butler twin.
She wants me to change mine to the older Butler twin, but we may get there.
And on Ravelry?
Yeah, Ravelry, I'm Jojo B.
And I'm Twinset and Purl on Ravelry.
And
all of the information will be down below in our show notes.
Yes. We've had a few new subscribers since our last episode. I think the lovely Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit podcast shared that she watches us, and a few more people have come along. So it's lovely to see new people, but also obviously to welcome back our longer term subscribers who have been with us since the beginning or found us along the way in the last year.
Yeah, it's really exciting that we managed to keep going for it.
Yeah, 2022 was quite a year, well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for me.
So we were meant to get together about 2 weeks ago. And we were going to have a little trip to London to Beautiful Knitter. Our dad gave us a voucher for Beautiful Knitter for our birthday in December, and we were going to go and see Karen at Beautiful Knitter and spend our vouchers, meet up with some friends for lunch. It was going to be a lovely day, and then I got some kind of weird virus that gave me a really bad headache.
But it wasn't COVID.
It wasn't COVID, and I thought it was a migraine, but it wasn't a migraine. It lasted too long for me to be a migraine. But I couldn't drive, so we decided anyway. And also, Rachel was in quite a lot of pain from her treatment at the time,
and I didn't want you to come here with a virus either.
No, so we decided we give it a miss, and we will rearrange our trip to London. So this is the first chance we've had to get together, because last weekend I went to the Isle of Man to visit our dad.
Who we haven't seen.
We haven't seen him since summer 2019, face to face. Obviously we see him on
video
FaceTime
chat
and WhatsApp or whatever we talk to him on. But yeah, it was lovely to see him. Unfortunately, he had COVID.
And still is positive.
Yeah, so our stepmom phoned me on the Monday before I was going and said, your dad's just tested positive. So I had a debate with my husband, do I go, do I not go? Decided that I would go and wear masks, wipe everything with a surface wipe within an inch of its life, and wear hand sanitizer, obviously. And
no
so
hugs.
far, we had a very brief moment for a photograph that Rachel's going to insert. Just to prove we were together for the weekend. I sat by an open window in his flat most of the time, because it was old people's houses are so warm. It was so warm. So I sat by an open window. I wore a mask.
It was lovely to see him
the whole weekend, but it was lovely to see him. We spent a lot of time chatting about my mum and just looking through photographs and reminiscing. He was telling me all about his childhood, and it was lovely. I also showed him how to wear his cowl that I made him for Christmas, and Rachel will also insert a picture.
It was a trillion cowl.
It was a trillion cowl. It was the one that was the mistake with the extra repeat, so it was quite large, but it suits him because he's quite large. So I mean, he's 6'2", 6'3". So yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't worn it yet because it's been too warm apparently.
And he hasn't been out.
He hasn't been out of the house, and he's still confined to quarters. He came out to say goodbye and got told off by the warden. So
and Jo came back with some. He makes marmalade, so I now have a jar of Tony's jams and tacklements. Apparently, Seville orange marmalade. So I shall enjoy that.
But no, it was lovely to see him. I was hoping I'd have a little trip to a yarn store in the Isle of Man, because I really want some Isle of Man yarn, which is there's not a massive of Isle of Man sheep, so
Manx, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was hoping to find some, but that'll have to be another trip, another time. But yeah, no, it was lovely.
So now you're here for just less than 24 hours, really. But we are going to be together for quite a few weekends. So we're going to Unravel, and we'll be there all weekend.
Yeah, we're helping on the botanical yarn stand.
And then we're going to Yorkshire Yarn Fest the next weekend. We're staying in a cottage with our friends we met at the Knitting Hotel. So that's going to be really lovely to catch up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be at the show. So we're going to be meeting and greeting any of you that come. So taking your tickets and saying hi. So
it'd be great if you let us know in the comments whether you're coming to any of those, and we could have a catch up.
Yeah,
be great.
So for our few, just like not admin, it kind of is admin. So we're going to have a giveaway for our podiversary, but we'll probably do that towards the end.
Yeah,
and but at the moment we are running a cowl, the Maurice KAL. So I've cast mine on, very small, not much to show, I'm afraid, but that will be in the whips. But just invite you to join it's Jo's latest shawl design, and it goes on till the end of March, I think.
Yeah, the shawl was released
in January.
In the middle of January.
Just after Waltham Abbey, wasn't it?
And you can use our podcast discount, which is bonus 20, to get 20% off any of our patterns. But if you haven't got the Maurice pattern already, there is a little bonus.
And there's a thread in our Ravelry group
yeah,
for chat and FOs. I don't know if I've done an FO thread yet.
I don't think anybody will be near an FO.
No.
It's not...
I need to take post a picture of mine.
Yeah.
Well, when you see it, but at least you can see the yarn that I'm using.
Yeah. We've also got a winner to announce. 2 winners to announce. Yeah. So we had a little giveaway in our last episode. Somebody had kindly donated an anniversary Pompom magazine to us.
Inside them.
Yeah. And we asked people to say in the comments whether they'd like to win. So we drew a winner this morning, and congratulations to Chris Hudson. So Chris says, I went to Waltham Abbey, but I didn't see you. My husband came with me and he was happy picking out sock yarn for himself. She came away with 3 skeins, blah, blah, blah. Lots of comments, but she would never seen a pom-pom, so she would love to win it.
So Chris, I think the best way we're going to going forward, I'm sure we're not going to have this problem on our, obviously we're not big YouTubers, but I've been hearing about scams where people are contacting people on the comments to say that they're a winner when they're not. So I think the best thing for people to do, I'll have put your name up on the screen, but if you email us, and our email is in the show notes, if you email me your address, I will send it out to you, and I guess it'd be good to
hear that you've got it.
Yeah, in the next, that you've seen the podcast and know that you're a winner by the next episode. But otherwise, then we can draw another winner. That's what people do. But I don't know. We have to do what everyone else does. But yeah, so Chris Hudson is the winner of Pom Pom. Anyway, that was a bit too. Sorry, waffly.
It's all right. And then we also pick a winner from our Ravelry thread, whether if you're knitting a Twinset and Purl pattern, and you put your FOs in.
So if you're joining in the cowl, or just knitting just don't forget to put your whip or finished objects or whatever in that thread, and then you're in with a chance to win one of our patterns.
Are we giving our pattern away?
Oh no, we're not, is it?
Any pattern
off Ravelry.
Yeah. So this month, the winner is Maggie.
Yeah. So we pick.
Yeah, we don't do that randomly.
There was only 2.
We pick our favourite.
Yeah. So and it was Maggie's Beautiful Maurice.
Yeah. So we would like, obviously, more of you to put your whips and FOs in, so we have got more people to pick from. But yeah, so Maggie gets to win a pattern. So
just let us know which one you want.
Yep.
Sorry,
did you know?
Maurice, we want to mention Maurice KAL. Now we're going to talk about what we're wearing, because it's 2 FO. We're going into our FOs.
Yeah.
and we're both wearing FOs. So I think sparkle has to come first.
So I started...
This looks like a bought jumper.
Does it? I started knitting this because I wanted to wear it during the festive season with my sparkle, but I can't remember why I didn't. I had something else I had to do, and it didn't get finished. But on the last podcast, I had about 2 inches of body and then 1.5 inches of rib on the body to do, and 2 sleeves to knit. And the sleeves, I managed to knit them so they knit really quickly. I think if I am honest, I would have a couple of extra stitches on the sleeves.
It still looks sparkly.
I've got a top with sparkles underneath.
Oh right, okay, that's what it is.
I've got a thermal long sleeve top from Sainsbury's that's got sparkles on it. So this yarn is from Woolly Knit. It was a cone of their British Merino, and it's beautiful. I think the colour was Monsters Green, and it's all in the show notes. And then the sparkle was a cone of olive sequins on an olive thread, and up close you can see stripy, but from a distance you just get the odd little bit of sparkle.
It's very nice.
And I was careful not to stop it before it came down over my boobs. I didn't want sparkle on my boobs, but I love this pattern. It's Material Girl by
Shiana Billow.
We've both knit one of these.
Yeah, it's been in the show notes lots, but it will be down below.
But I think I love the neckline on it. It's the best raglan neckline that I've knit. So I love it. And there's probably going to be more in my future.
I think I'm going to knit.
I think I might knit the DK version.
I was just going to say, because you were talking about DK jumper the other day.
I think I'm going to knit the DK version.
Nice.
So that's mine.
And this is my modified flax, which I didn't think I was going to finish because I will be talking about our January challenges later. And I spent a lot of time knitting on that. So I just didn't think, and I've got other things I'm doing. So I just didn't, but then I just had one sleeve left to do. And I thought you could do it in a day. So I literally managed to...
Aran.
Yeah, it's Aran weight on 5mm needles. So I literally managed to get to the cuff in a day and then knitted the cuff in one morning in bed.
I think you need to...
Ow!
Sorry.
Pull my hair.
It's just a bit... Knit too big a one again.
Well, I wanted it to be... It's my bougie sweatshirt.
Do you think it needs a good block?
It does. It hasn't been blocked. I put it on as soon as I sewed the ends in. But you can see it's got this Morris... It's the Morris lace. But it does look lovely.
Yeah.
And this is in Pinkole Forest, which is a recycled yarn that has... It's 35% wool and then the rest is like acrylic, polyamide and viscose. But you get 300 metres per 100 grams of Aran weight, which is a lot. So this sweater, I knitted, I have still got the majority of a ball left. So it's probably about 325 grams. And I'm going to knit a hat with the rest of it. And I love it so much. It can go in the washing machine.
It's pilling a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Given that you only finished it the other day.
Yeah, I've worn it all day one day. I think maybe it does, and then when you wash, once you wash it and depill it, it'll be all right. But so the flax is by Tin Can Knits, and I used...
Is it a free pattern?
It's a free pattern, and it's brilliant if you're to knit your first sweater. Really good pattern. They have added... there's an extra, it's not in the pattern, but it's an extra download that you can download with the pattern for short rows underneath the yoke to raise the back of the neck, which wasn't in the original pattern. So I did that. And
then you took the garter out and put
I took the garter out and did this Morris lace pattern. So I had to change the stitch count a little bit. But I really like the cuffs, so I decided to carry on the lace a bit like the whistle down sweater into the cuff. And yeah, it's going to be my bougie sweatshirt. And I knitted the size, the double XL, because I want... I wanted... She doesn't listen when you actually say her name. I wanted a 50. I wanted like 8 to 10 inches of positive ease. So I think I've got it. Yeah. But I will block it. And I loved it so much that we've just done another order, haven't we, for Wool Warehouse, and I've got a pale blue with tweedy flecks. So it's a lovely colour.
Yeah.
And this is the colour red bray forest wood. They're all named after woods or forests because it's called forest. So yeah, so this it's like £3.21.
Right, stop talking about that now.
Okay.
Because we've got a lot to cover.
Sorry.
And we've already been 15 minutes.
Okay.
So, other FOs.
Consider myself told off.
So, January challenge.
Right.
So, my January challenge was to try and finish all my sock whips. I had 4 pairs of socks, and it meant doing 5 socks. And I think I spoke last time about
Waltham Abbey.
Waltham Abbey, where I'd got to. I'd finished an Anthony, and I'd knit. I was on the second one of these, and I had heels to do. So these are my vanilla socks in a Birdstreet yarn that we can't remember the name of.
That came with a Me to Me box.
Yeah, and I followed Kirby Werby's Afterthought heel. Haven't tried them on, haven't blocked them, haven't sewn the ends in, but I do have 2 of them, which is a big win on the challenge.
You finished 2 pairs.
And I finished my calico quilt socks, also ends not sewn in. Now these were knit in Birdstreet
Mr. Mellow
Fruitfulness that was left over from a cardigan that I knit and didn't quite have enough, so I had to do a bit of a stripey on the toe, and it was Beaujolais and
Old Number
7 from Birdstreet.
And it's a pattern by me.
And it's a pattern by Rachel, Calico Quilt. And were these the first socks I started knitting?
Yes.
And I've just finished. And that was
Southern
2021 Southern Wool Show. I started them. But now I have 2, and I have to block them because they're
when you were knitting.
You can really see the difference in the gauge.
When you were knitting on
2.25, 2.5s and 2.75s.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I now have 2 pairs of socks, and I've cast on, I'm going to do this now, I've cast on my second Christmas at Bridgerton.
And is that your last one to do?
No, I've got one Anthony. I've got one Anthony, but I've done this much of Christmas at Bridgerton. And this is in Waking Up Early on Sparkle from Birdstreet.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I just had to kitchen of the toe on that one. But this is a lovely pattern too.
That's by me.
This is by Rachel, Christmas at Bridgerton. And it's got this lovely lace down
It does
the
almost
front.
knit itself, I feel.
And then I haven't started the lace because I didn't want to take it on the aeroplane, and I haven't been in a position to actually sit down and do the first row. Once I've done the first row of the lace, I think it'll fly. So
that's in a little grey girl bag.
That is one of my favourite bags. It reminds me of my mum because flamingos were her favourite.
Yeah.
It's flamingos, and I don't think she liked pineapple.
No, but I don't think she makes that size.
No, she doesn't. Perfect. Right.
And my January challenge was to finish my marble mount, and it is finished and blocked, but I have done the bind off too tight.
Into the sleeve.
It's been folded up. It fits, the actual sweater fits one lovely.
Do you want me to try it on?
Yeah, if you want to. But the bind off, because you do after the rib, you knit a few rows. So I just cast off with the bigger needle, and tried to block it as much as possible.
That's the
best. But it didn't.
Got the sleeves and all.
It didn't. So I also think I want to add a few inches to the body, a couple of inches to the body. So I'm going to unpick the ribbing. But it is a lovely sweater.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You need to wear a light top underneath
so you can see and it's next to skin, so I could wear it next to my skin.
Yeah.
Now it's been blocked. So I would put just like a vest, and then your skin's showing the rest of it. But yeah, so it's knitted in Rowan Valley tweed, and it has all these speckles. And of course it's navy blue. It's the first navy, no it's not, amethyst glow is navy blue. Does it feel?
It's a little bit tight around the...
Yeah. So I'm going to I'm going to put my needle in above the ribbing, rip it back, and knit a couple more. I've got still got half a skein left, and not broken. I've got 3 skeins that I haven't broken into at all. So
I'll just keep this open.
I'm thinking of knitting a Musselburgh.
Yeah.
In it because I really like it. Cool. So I feel like I finished. I haven't sewn the ends in, obviously. I do feel like I finished my January challenge because it was a lot of knitting. So I do think I did succeed.
I had quite a lot of other things to do, which I can't show you. One was a pattern for the knitter, and I knit my friend a pair of mittens for her 60th birthday, and I forgot to take a picture. So I did quite a lot of knitting in January, but I didn't finish all my socks, unfortunately, because I had other commitments.
Well, that was that was my January challenge, and I managed to finish this as well.
Yeah, you did really well.
And
you've got some socks to show too.
Two new designs that I didn't even think of until this year.
I know, we're kind of talking to ourselves rather than...
We are.
Sorry. Right, so
we hope you enjoy the twinness.
Finished the January challenge chat. I hope everybody who joined in managed to do theirs.
Yeah, we had some really good ones. The chat was really good. So what other FOs have you got?
I've got the Fizzy Pop Cowl.
Well, that's going to look lovely with that jumper.
Which is now in testing. Test started this morning. And this is, I think I talked about doing this, didn't I?
Yeah.
On the last podcast. But hadn't I started it?
I don't know if you had.
So this is knitting
a little bit high.
Huh?
You need to show it off a bit.
Knitting for Olive Merino in the colour Green Clover, or Clover Green, I can't remember which way.
Clover Green.
And then matching mohair. So it's, compared to the other Fizzy Pop, it's a low contrast obviously, but you can see the pop with the mohair.
Yeah.
And then I decided to add a bit of rib on this side rather than just doing totally garter, but you could miss that out if you wanted to. But I love the way it drapes, and I love the colour. So I'm really happy with that. It feels like a lot more knitting than the shawl, even though it's smaller, because you end up with a lot more stitches on your needle at one go.
Right.
To get the shape.
It's knit back and forth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's knit flat, and then you seam it at the back. You seam it at the back. But this yarn is a light fingering. It's 250 meters per 50 grams.
Ball, isn't it? 50 grams.
So you normally get around 200 in a ball of fingering weight. But the drape on it is just lovely. I've knit it on 3.5mm needles, and it's lovely. It's so lightweight. Yeah, and
I might knit one in some coast. Holscombe coast.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Or even super soft actually would be lovely, because that's the same.
Yeah. So the shawl I knit in Salisgarn Sunday, and that's 235 meters to 100 grams. So still quite.
Did you show that on the last podcast?
Yes, I did. And that had some the incandescent mohair from the Wool Kitchen as the pop. So that's in testing at the moment.
So the shawl and the cowl are being tested. Yeah.
And when they're released, which will be towards mid to end of March, you'll be able to buy them separately, but there'll be an offer, so you can buy the two patterns together. And yeah, I hope everybody loves it as much as I do. I've already cast on another shawl. I'm going to knit along with my testers.
And I need to knit one because I'm knitting a sample for the wool kitchen. So. Right, so I have finished my January bird. So this year I'm knitting a skein out of my stash of Birdstreet yarn every month this year. And the first month was this beautiful Rosie Lee colourway. And I just happened to do a little design, as you do. And so these are going to be the Rosie Lee socks, and they're going to be in testing very soon. And I just think that the lace is so delicate and reminds me of like a teacup or something like that. So yeah, and that's a beautiful Birdstreet colour.
That's gorgeous.
So yeah, that'll be out beginning of March, I think. First 2 weeks of March.
Cool.
Yeah. And I've also done, so I showed last time the skein of yarn for January. Sorry about that. Should have put it on Do Not Disturb. Can we do that from our phone? Aeroplane mode. This was Snowdrop by Wild Pearl Yarns. And that was to raise money for, so £5 from every skein went to the Flower Power Fund. When it arrived, I was just like, it's so lovely. I need to design a pair of socks. So these came out yesterday. And they are the Beneath the Beech Tree socks that you may have already seen on Instagram. It's pretty hard to show the lace.
When we were growing up, our dad was a vicar in a village in Shropshire, and we lived in the rectory, and in that garden there was a huge beech tree that was over 150 years old.
When we were there.
When we were there, and underneath it every winter a whole blanket of snowdrops would come up, snowdrops and crocuses that we used to pick for Mother's Day. Mothering Sunday, we used to give every...
That was daffodils, wasn't it?
No, it was snowdrops and crocuses.
Yeah.
Anyway, not going to argue about that. So they're called the Beneath the Beech Tree socks.
And they are raising money for Marie Curie via the Flower Power Fund. And they will be... The money will go forever to the...
And the podcast discount doesn't work on them.
No, none of our charity patterns.
Yeah, because we give all of that money to charity, so we don't.
And we raised over £100 yesterday. So I've got a real frog in my throat.
That's really
this
good.
Morning. Yeah. So check them out on Instagram and like and share my posts and stuff like that if you can, so that as many people can see it. And also going on to the pattern page on Ravelry really helps boost it up to the hot right now echelons of hot right now. Excuse me.
I'm really liking myself in navy blue. I don't wear navy blue very often. I wore blue on the last podcast. I don't wear blue very often. Anyway,
maybe you should. So that's our finished object. Oh no, I'm going to put a picture in of Dad's finished blue and yellow socks. But I did bring the yarn to show you. So they were yellow cuff, heels and toes and blue body. And I have to say, this combination is not me at all. He absolutely loves them. In fact, when they arrived, I got a phone call from him and he had the camera turned round on his feet and they were on his feet. But anyway, I didn't take a screenshot of that. I took photos on the blockers. So that was the body, but this yarn, it's blue. It's West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply, which is at least 35% blue face Leicester, and it is lovely to knit with. So I'm going to be knitting a yellow pair of socks for the Marie Curie sock appeal with that left over.
cool.
Yes. So on to whips.
Right. So I've already shown my Christmas at Bridgerton sock, which was hardly a whip. It's the cuff of a sock.
Right.
And I'm
so we're a bit whip light because I'm knitting on two things that
you can't
show.
And I've got this one main whip, and then I'm doing swatches for new designs, so haven't really got anything to show. But this is, I'm obsessed with this.
So
there's another.
I was going to say, to be upfront, you're not thinking of releasing this pattern unless lots of people want it.
Yeah, because it's going to be a huge pattern, because it's got to be charted. So, and it's not, doesn't repeat across the whole length of the shawl.
Am I going to help you hold it up?
Yeah, so it's a garter shawl, and it's similar to the Fizzy Pop, but without the pops. But it has these, you hold this mohair together with the main yarn.
It starts off with like a pale blue.
Pale blue, and then that merges with the grey, so you hold the pale blue and the grey together. And then this mustard, dark mustard colour, and then that's with the blue and the grey, and then coming towards the other side, and about to bring in got some mustard here. But I think it looks really effective on, so I'm just going to wrap it round.
Let me just grab the ball of mohair on the floor
And show you what I think it's going to look like when it's on. So the other end is going to have a pop of the mustard. So when you wrap it round, but it's so squishy with the mohair. I think that looks really nice. Yeah. So, and I love the main yarn. Where's the main yarn gone? So the main yarn is some Cormo silk that I bought at the Southern Wool Show in September, and I don't know who I got it from. We cannot remember the name of the stall. It didn't have a proper label, it just had a sticker on it that said Cormo silk fingering 400 metres. That was all it said on it. But it's obviously undyed, and it is, I just love it. And I'm thinking it's going to bloom beautifully when it's blocked.
It looks really nice on the jumper.
So yeah, so we're debating whether to put, if there's going to be enough left over, I might add a tassel to each end. We'll see. But yeah, I just love it. And I've also already got a cream and pink and like blackcurrant coloured version in my head. Yeah, so Rach wants to knit it, so I think I'm going to have to...
Well, I'm not having your piece of graph poster.
This is my pattern.
Jo does things old school, don't you?
It's had to adapt as I went along as well, so yeah. But it would be fairly easy to follow on a chart. It'd just be a lot of chart. Anyway,
it really reminds me of some habitat cushion or something like that.
But yeah, I love it. Anyway, so the yarns are this one that I don't know who's from, but it's Cormo silk, and then a drops kid silk in the grey, dark mustard knitting for Olive kid mohair, and beautiful knitters kid silk mohair in the colourway Wolf. Ooh.
And that Chelsea, is that yarn called Chelsea?
Yeah, it's the yarn I knit the Morton Street catwalk in. I just love them. Anyway, that's enough about that. Might be coming as a design.
So I've got two. Is that your only width? Oh, you talked about your socks, didn't you already? So my Maurice shawl is living in my Hohi dumpling bag, and this is the yarn that I'm using, which is from River Knits, and it's called Morris. The William Morris. It's inspired by a William Morris print.
Yeah.
And I have done, it's my book with all my rows written out. I've only done about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeats.
No, that's not. 2 is a repeat.
Oh, right, okay. 2.5 repeats. So that's the start of my Maurice lace. Put your hand behind it. Oh, we've all seen the Maurice lace now. And so it looks, with the variegated, the garter rib, you'd think you wouldn't see it, when you see it in person, you can see the rib.
Mm. You can see the rib on there.
So I'm going to be working on that gradually. I want to keep knitting on it because it's lovely yarn, and the different, you know, with the really variegated, when you have it, every stitch is a different colour. It's lovely, and I'm using my Prim needles, 3.5s. Yeah. So that will be, now I've finished this sweater and that thing, and one other thing that I've, for you, that I've, not for you, but for, basically, it's not a secret really, I'm knitting the sample of Joe's, for Botanical Yarn, of Joe's Accessory Club, which is coming out at the end, towards the end of this bit, look, another week or so, isn't it? From Botanical Yarn. So you'll see, if you follow Sophie or whatever, you'll have seen the adverts for that. Yeah, so that's what I've been knitting on all this week. So I haven't done much more of this. And then I suddenly realised that I hadn't started my February socks, the February Botanical Yarn socks. So
Birdstreet socks.
Yeah, sorry, Birdstreet. Sorry, apologies. And this month's yarn is the colourway Rococco.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And this is quite new to my stash, but I felt was very February.
Yeah.
Very February colour. So I was going to do a vanilla sock, but then, well, it is a vanilla sock, but I decided to do a longer cuff with an eyelet ribbon pattern.
Oh, that's pretty.
Which I thought was pretty for the, to go with the yarn, and the yarn is beautiful. And I'm just on the heel flat book.
Could you do an eyelet toe? Could you do that on the toe? Would it be annoying?
It might be, and I don't know if I'd want a toe. You could do maybe a little bit just before the toe.
I just think it's really pretty.
Or, yeah, well, when I showed it to Maggie on our weekly chats, she suggested that I did the whole sock in it. But obviously I'm not going to rip back. But
there could be another sock in the future that's all
yeah, because it was really enjoyable knitting it. So yeah, so I've got to, well, I've got time, haven't I? It's only the, is it the 11th? What's the date today? 11th. So yeah, I've got time to knit those. So that's what my other whip is.
Right, and then you've got some new releases.
Yeah, so I've got a pattern, and that's living in my Longchamp pouch. Yeah, I'm having a pattern coming out at Unravel, which I'm in collaboration with Ted Knits UK, and this is the colourway Fuchsia, and the socks are going to be called Fuchsia in Love. And there's a cable that runs all the way down the front, and it's it's kind of slightly staggered, so that there's two types of cable, one that goes right the way across and one that's the smaller cable, and they're kind of staggered. And on the other foot they're the opposite, you know, it's like a mirror image. So they'll be coming out on the 24th of February. And they will be at Ted's stand, and he'll have the yarn and patterns to sell. So go and visit Ted at Unravel if you're going. Yeah, so, and I have to say that Maggie did knit the sample, and they're beautiful. Thank you, Maggie.
Cool. And I I've had another pattern in the knitter, second month in a row. I've got a picture of it here, but do you want to put a picture in? Is that better than me showing it on my phone?
Yeah, I guess. You could just quickly show
Yeah.
it.
So this is the Effie shawl. It's knit in Rowan fine lace and mohair, and they're both held double, and you knit these little godays in the mohair to give like a lacy, not lacy, a frilly edge to the shawl, and then it's got a little lace pattern, and it's a long thin shawl.
So it's basically like a skein of 4-ply.
Yeah.
You hold the lace double, don't you?
Yeah, and and a ball of mohair. So yeah, so that's the Effie shawl. Right.
What's next?
Next is
Acquisitions.
acquisitions.
Do you want to just talk about the giveaway?
Yeah.
And we're thinking of doing a new KAL. Well,
They're linked, aren't they?
they are linked.
So yeah, because we know not everybody wants to listen to acquisitions and then wait till the end to find out what the giveaway is. So we can talk about that here. So for our podiversary, we're going to be giving away these 2 sock sets, mini skein sets. One is by Birdstreet. Is that very old then? Because it's got their old logo. It's called the Atomic mini skeins, and it's these dark greys, lighter greys, and then pinks. That's quite nice for February as well. And then the other one is by Suffolk Socks, and that's got 4 20 grams and a 50 gram, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 50 grams.
This is 100 grams.
Oh, right.
That's never 100
Yeah.
grams. Anyway, that's mixed tweed. So you've got all these like pastel-y colours and then a cream, slightly
Knitted
bigger.
tweed.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, so there's those two. Those 2 will be prizes.
So if you comment down below, and if you put the word giveaway, so you don't even need to comment if you don't want to, but if you want to be part of the giveaway, just put giveaway, and then we will pick 2 people on the next.
And you need to subscribe.
Yeah, you need to subscribe to our podcast, and we'll pick 2 winners, and the first one can pick which one they want, and the second one will get the other one. Sorry about this. But Joe's also got, it's kind of leading to acquisitions, because we were thinking that it would be lovely to, well,
The crinkle.
yeah, crinkle quickly. You've been knitting socks again
Yeah.
recently, and we're now thinking about doing a scrappy pair of socks. So these would be perfect for scrappy socks. So we're going to have a scrappy
sock challenge.
sock along. Which we're thinking will just last till the end of the year, and
Maybe once a quarter.
we'll pick a
Yeah,
random
once every
prize.
3 months we'll pick a. Need to write that down somewhere so we remember to do it. But we'll pick a winner out of the thread.
Because you just helped yourself.
Well, Rachel was going through minis and I was like, I really like those, and she's like, well, you can have them then.
and these are Mr. B's.
Mr. B, and then
So Birdstreet.
the dark side minis. So I will be knitting a pair of dark side scrappy socks. Now I think that's actually the dark side, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then these are the.
And that's what I knitted a pair of Skywalker socks by
in
Tracy
the dark
Miller
side.
in the dark side.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe I'll do Skywalker socks in
Scrappy ones.
scrappy ones. So yeah, so that'll be we'll start another thread in the Ravelry group, and come over there and join us and start knitting some scrappy socks. Cool. Right.
So now
On to
we're going to
acquisitions.
and we've got a lot because we went to Waltham Abbey, and I've also bought yarn. You haven't bought much, have you?
No.
I bought quite a lot of yarn as well. So
we thought we'd do it by shop, by the companies that we visited.
And we're not going to put every single thing that we bought either in the show notes. We're going to put the companies and their links, their websites. And then if you really want to know some information, just get in touch with us.
Yeah.
So, Belika yarn.
I'm going to take that off because it's going to be annoying.
I'm going to have to unload mine from this bag. My hoagie bag.
Right, so I got two things from Belika, and I have to say I think they were both out of her bargain bin because she had some lovely stuff in her bargain bin.
Oh, mine's not in here. Did you put it back? Did you put it in your bag?
Yes. That was sneaky, wasn't it? So I got this lovely skein of double knitting that's going to be a hat. It might be a tied knots hat.
Ooh.
So I love that pattern. And I think that would be lovely. It's not got a colourway name.
I have also...
But I just love that burgundy and to pale pink.
I've not got my Belika bag that I bought.
This might have to be
That's beautiful.
a February cast on because that would make a lovely
You felt
February hat,
like doing a hat, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And then I also got this sock set, which I really like, which I might do Easter socks.
Lovely.
So do scrappy socks and then finish the two I've got on, do scrappy socks and then some kind of, maybe, would that work for Colin?
Yeah.
I really want to knit a pair of Colin socks, contrast heels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so that's Belika, my Belika.
And my, it's the key in the door. Sorry, that was my husband looking in the window.
He's looking to see if we'd finish.
Oh, right. So this is what I bought from Belika Yarns, and it doesn't have a colourway. It was from the bargain bin as well, but it's 4-ply fingering, 85.15.
And it's a lovely stormy grey.
Yeah.
With a bluey tinge to it.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
So that's Belika. And I bought a bag, but unfortunately I don't have it with me because it's got
one of the things that one of the things you can't show is in it. Right. Okay.
So I'll when I show the project, I will show the bag. So next is Little Grey Girl. So I bought this bag, which I haven't used yet. I'm waiting
this bag,
for the
which is a lovely velvet.
I love this shape bag for just to put in your handbag. Take your sock, take your sock away with you.
And then I got these two skeins that are the same colour. They're Rare Gems on a high twist sock and mohair. I don't know what I'm going to knit with this yet. Whether it will be together or separate, because I like the idea of this mohair with a plain.
Was mine just off the shelf?
Yeah. So mine were in her bargain bin again, but I just love that neons and on the pale grey.
And mine is called Burnaby, and I've got mohair and MCN.
Nice.
And I'm going to knit a stripe. I'm going to stripe the mohair and just in stocking stitch somehow. Maybe a tube. It may be something, so that they're just this really plain.
You could do that. Striped.
Yeah, I want to do stocking stitch.
No, but you could do that with stocking stitch.
Ah,
Striped.
yeah.
Just at the same increase rate.
Yeah. Beautiful. This is just my colour.
Lovely.
Right, who's next?
The Lonely Knitter.
I bought from the Lonely Knitter some. I've also bought some needle stoppers, and I've been using them.
Oh, right. So I bought this skein, which is Merino Singles, and the colourway is Unfaithful Lover, Long Since Dead.
Do you know what that reference is? No, I don't know.
No. But I love these colours. So I don't know what that's going to be. Maybe a cowl. but it's I love it.
So I bought 2 skeins of rose gold in this, it's 85/15, but it's high twist, called rose gold, and then a skein of from the Doctor Who collection, I'm Burning Up a Sun Just to Say Goodbye, Donegal tweed.
Oh, that's nice.
In that colourway, and they're going to be together somehow, I think, because they need to be.
That would work well for my new knitting shed. We'll see.
I want to do simple things, which I want some mindless knitting. So that'll be I'm going to cast that on.
Yeah.
Just when you need some mindless socks. And socks are normally my mindless knitting. That's why I needed a vanilla sock. What's next? The knitting shed. I bought 1 skein of olive. This olive colour called Don't Tell Him Pike in their classic sock, which is gorge. And that was going to be a muscle burr, I think.
And I bought 2 skeins of mohair because I look their tonal mohair is just so beautiful. The pale grey is called Lime Mortar. Look at that.
It's gorgeous.
And then this one is called Storm Brewing.
And they're just going to be used as, like, when you need them.
Yeah. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? I might even think of something that they could be used together. In stripes or something. Oh, nice. Maybe they could go with that.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
So that was from
the next
shed.
2 I didn't buy anything from.
The Crafty Bird.
Well, considering we only spent 2.25 hours, and we did quite a lot of talking.
So this is what I got from the Crafty Bird.
That's beautiful.
This is called Lamppost Narnia. Superwash Merino Cozy 4-ply.
Very nice.
I don't know what that's going to be.
A pair of socks.
Yeah, it's got no nylon in it. 100% superwash merino. So it might have to be a cowl. Yeah. Or colour work. Maybe a Zweig.
The black.
Or with pale. I want to knit a Zweig.
I've got some teal yarn, 3 balls of teal yarn.
Yeah, so that was the Crafty Bird. And then Snuggly Stars yarn. I got this and this from there. Sorry, the crinkles. So I got this skein of yarn, which is called One of a Kind Spectre on the yak sock base. So that's
Is that going to be socks?
Going to be socks. But I love this. It's kind of neutral with these pops of neon.
Yeah.
And then I also got this.
I didn't see that.
I couldn't resist a little pin of a cat.
I didn't see that on the day. I would like one of those. I might have to find them.
Yeah, cute.
Very cute. And next is Adventures in Yarn Craft, and I think we both got one of these.
Yeah.
Pin, which is a ball of yarn with
a yarn bowl
with some succulents, isn't it? And then I got some earrings which are upstairs, which I've worn, which are lovely, and I put a picture on my Instagram of me going out wearing them, and they've got like knitting stitches printed on. And then I got these stitch markers, which are handmade polymer clay. And then that was it from her, I think.
Yeah.
Laura, she's cast on a Morris.
Yeah. And then we've got Ida's House next.
Okay.
So Ida's House had some amazing colours.
I've always wanted a skein of this. Bilham yarn. So I chose that one.
And I chose that
You
one.
can see it better that side actually.
Don't you think that goes well together?
Yeah, it does, but I'm not quite sure how you
No.
do it together.
But I'm in a bit of a theme is what I was thinking.
Well, I also bought these there to do something with that, but now I'm thinking of knitting one of your splodgies with it.
I think that would look lovely.
Cool. So this is Sneck, is that the?
Yeah, that's the name of the
colourway, just a number.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, mine's
Mine is.
118. And these are
This might have to be socks.
these are all Isaiah.
Could you knit some? It's 100% merino.
Yeah. And it's also a gradient, so you'd have one sock one way, one sock the other. This is silk mohair from Isaiah.
I have got an idea formulating for that.
Colour 19, colour 64. Those are the new ones they've got just come out. And colour 32. I like that.
They're lovely. Lovely.
And then
Folkestone Harbour.
So we both got these Chinese New Year stitch markers, which mine aren't working properly, but they're the same.
So it's a little lantern, 2 little rabbits, and some kind of flower. Really cute.
Yeah, really cute.
Mm.
And then I bought this bag from there, which is Marimekko fabric. So it's like a cherry blossom they call it.
And then I got these Love Heart stitch markers.
And I can use it now because it's got a little pocket in it.
Oh, cute. And then the last thing from Waltham Abbey was
Our lavender
the lavender
bags.
bags.
So I got this colour, and you get 4 in a pack, and
And
2
I've
of mine are already in sweater bag, or they were in those bags with these sweaters.
And I got this purple. So nice.
It's lovely. And I got an itch.
And they were, they were probably more expensive than I have paid for lavender bags, but they've got this beautiful crocheted.
Yeah. And that's what they do, isn't it? They have linen, lovely linen
It smells gorgeous.
with embellishments on.
Yeah.
Is your crochet the same? No, different.
Yeah, so that was everything from Waltham Abbey.
Did you show those?
Yes.
And then since then, I have purchased another skein of Rowan Moordale, which is what I knitted my tied knots hat in, and it's so lovely that I'm actually thinking I might do a tied knots cowl because I didn't use all the yarn. And it would look lovely in this bag. I'll hold it in that bag. So my other bag of stuff is here. Been a bit naughty. Have you got anything else to show?
No, one book. So I bought some stuff last weekend. Spent a lot of time with an old man. And my dad and I both have a bit of a love for stationery. I'd taken with me a cross pen that I bought that was too heavy for me, and so I gave it to him, and he absolutely loves it. And I also, he was showing me some graphite pencils that he like solid graphite pencils that he bought. So I went onto the Rachel Smith website and bought those. They were only £3, and I was like, oh, I can't just buy that, that's ridiculous, and pay the same money for the postage. So I also bought this book, The Knitter's Dictionary, and haven't really had a chance to look through it, but it does say the reference book, no knitting bag should be without. So
I need to have a look at that
yeah,
before you
I
go.
think it's going to have some
Who's it by? Kate Atherley.
Kate Atherley.
Yeah.
The knitting know-how from A to Z.
Brilliant.
It's got lots of little tips and things that, yeah, we can all learn all the time.
So I went into Oxford with my husband, and we managed to meander into the covered market where there's a newish yarn shop called the Wool Hound, and I found this Adrofil Sadiqi, which is superfine wool, 16 micron and polyamide, but it's like one of those chain yarns. So I got 4 of them to knit a love note. It's DK. So it's so soft. It's going to be lovely. So I got 4 of those. Quite amazed that Mr. Youngest Butler twin let me buy them. And then I met my friend Alex. Haven't seen her for ages. Met her at Oxford Yarn Store in the week, and I bought these 2 Alpaca 2, Isaiah Alpaca 2. This is colourway E2S, and it's the natural colour, one of their natural, like a blend, I suppose, of colours, but to make this light grey. And that is, I've got a cowl design in mind for that. And then I also bought a new design, and I also bought these 2 Isaiah Tweed.
I've not seen Isaiah Tweed before. Which
is 4-ply, 200 metres per 50 grams, and I thought I would knit my cowl design on both of them. So this is winter grey.
That's lovely.
And see what we thought they would look like, and that will be for later in the year, I think. And then this fell into my basket. I'm a bit of a Zowable collector, but I thought I wanted to cast those on straight away. I thought that was lovely.
You knit socks.
So I'm going to knit socks with that, yeah, just a vanilla. Because you don't they're like sisters rather than the same, so you can't really knit pair. But one of my favourite socks I've knitted in.
I guess you could buy 2, but you wouldn't even get it in the same.
No, because you don't know necessarily. It doesn't even think it's in the same place. It's not. But I knitted a pair of Galliano socks by Tracy Miller. Before I started designing, I just loved it. I knitted all her socks patterns. Now I don't have time to knit other people's sock patterns, but one of my favourite pairs are the Zowable Galliano socks. So I might be tempted to knit a pair of those, but then it's also nice to have vanilla, isn't it? Nothing to think about it. And this is the final thing I purchased, and this is this is the January, so I'm assuming everybody has got theirs now. Beautiful labels on like a linen fabric from the Camel's Yarn, hand dyed in Cornwall, and she's doing a series, like a monthly mystery skein, and this is the white hair sock set. It's absolutely beautiful. I meant to bring the card and everything to show you the inspiration picture, but it's about like mythical Cornish things. I don't know what fabric, and I love it so much, but it's going to be one of those skeins that you keep in your stash and just look at and do this to. So I couldn't justify buying February after buying all this. So I'd love to have it every month, because I do like a club, but yeah, I satisfied myself. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I've got an idea for this year's Myloma sock. But obviously, this isn't the right. I need to find a dyer who'll dye me some orange yarn and be willing to give some money to charity. So if there's anybody out there who wants to do that, get in touch with me. But it needs to be a skein and a mini, because I've got an idea for some simple colour work.
Cool.
So that is my last purchase. So that was not bad, was it, from after Waltham? Lots of knitting to be done.
Yes.
So hope you've enjoyed our episode and kept going till the end.
So we're hoping to record. We're probably not going to have time to record the weekend we're at Unravel, because we're helping Sophie every day for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Although I have taken the Monday off work, so we possibly could podcast on the Monday. And then the next weekend we're at the Yorkshire Yarn Fest.
Yeah.
And I've taken the Friday and the Monday off that week as well. So we will see where we get to.
But if you're going to either of those events, just come and, if you see us, come and say hello.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd love to. We love meeting people who watch the podcast. And have a great couple of weeks.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join in the giveaway if you want to.
Take part. Join our Ravelry group. There's links. It's all linked below.
Because you don't have to. There's even what you're working on now isn't our pattern. So we like to see what everybody's working on. So there's all sorts of things going on in that Ravelry group. Cool. Great, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.